Ho ho, we have a special two-parter today. This first part is going to be focusing on this beautiful Kato Union Pacific FEF-3 844 old school style steam locomotive. Now this is part of a set, which I do have the complete set of, and we'll be doing the cars in part 2 of this review, but wanted to start this one out with the engine itself. So let me take it out. Alright, ho ho ho. Look what we have here. It's big and beautiful, great out of the box. Really impressed with this scale model. It looks fantastic. Not quite a big boy, but as big as probably an N-scale model will come, short of that. So again, this is a special day, if you will, and again, two-parter. We'll do the engine now, and then the cars that came with it following this one after this review. But yeah, what do you think? This thing's a beast. Can't wait to get started here. Really excited about this one. It's going to be a good day, let's put it that way. I suspect. But let me get it out on the track here, and we'll see what it looks like. Alright, so here I am getting ready to put this on the track for you guys. Just to show you kind of how difficult it is. I'll attempt myself on my own, but I can already tell you it's going to have problems, and you can see I'm struggling here because it is quite difficult to get all those little bitty wheels lined up, front, back, and wherever, and that lip is just so tiny that it's hard to get on. Still can't quite get there yet. Having back problems with the tender there, but it looks okay now, but even so, it will probably derail, because whenever I do this manually, even if it looks so good, it will derail, guaranteed, within one lap of me trying to do this manually. So I'm going to take it off, get the rear railer here, and slide it on this way, and even so it can be difficult because all these wheels, even on the rear railer, likes to slide around on you until you get it just right, and with ease can slip that right on out. Alright, got it nice and hooked up to the cars here, which we'll be reviewing in the next review, but for this one we're going to focus here on this engine. So let me start it up here, and you'll see how it moves. Alright, got it nice and speeded up to a nice cruising level there. Looks perfect with the big long train behind it, and a lot of good wheel action there in the rear wells. It's a beautiful thing, I can tell you that. It really is stunning, and really glad that it looks this good, because I did pay quite a bit for it. See it, here it is coming down the tunnel there. You got that big old bright front headlight on it, which is nice. Really good at night. Okay, first thing I've noticed anyway, are these hideously ugly smoke deflectors. So first thing I'm going to do right now is take them off because they are removable. Much better looking. Again, I find the smoke deflectors hideous, but when you take them off, yeah, it looks so much better. Like this, without them. I know why they were there to begin with, to improve performance on the real model, but this one just looks so much better without them, so I am removing them probably forever. With that said, as you can see, detail-wise, this is really, really, really well done. It's getting a 9 in my book. The only reason why is because of the smoke deflectors. Not necessarily a ding against the model, but yeah, I find them ugly. Took them off, and they look so much better. But overall, it's getting a 9 from a looks standpoint perspective. Argue with me below if you feel otherwise, but that's where I stand. Yes, here you are with those smoke deflectors off. It just looks so much better. Really glad they're removable, so it can look this stunning. Now, as far as the materials used in this, they seem to be really high quality, which you can expect from Kato. Can't complain too much about it. Nothing really feels too cheap. With that said, my rating on this is a 9 for pretty high end. It does seem to be made entirely out of plastic and not metal, so I will ding them for that. But for what it does and what it is, it came together really nicely, even if it is almost all plastic. So good job on the materials. Like I said, it does feel rather well built, put together. And even though it is plastic all around, it seems to be really the high-end stuff, which is, again, what you want there. Here's how it looks coming down at night. Really cool. I don't know if the video can do this justice. As far as uniqueness goes, you don't really see this caliber of a model too often. So for me, it's an 8. There are a lot of these bigger ones out there, but not too many well this done. And this being a Union Pacific 844, you don't see that too often in scale form. I know there are others out there, but this is a rare, somewhat rare one. So not all too common. It's getting an 8 from me. For the noise level, this thing is really quiet for what it is. Usually the bigger engines, for whatever reason, have a slightly screechier sound to it, but this thing is super quiet. Slow speeds, fast speeds. What you normally hear is just the wheels turning, but from a motor standpoint, it's really good, really quiet. That's what you want to see. It's getting a 9 on my scale because you can still kind of hear it once you get to medium speeds, but really, really good overall. Really impressed at how quiet this thing is overall. So yeah, it's really good from a noise level. To get this puppy moving, it requires almost nothing. Very impressed with how little power it needs to move. So it's getting a 10 on my scale. I've never seen anything like it. Certainly not any of the models I currently have can move under such little power as this guy does. So really happy about that. That's a good thing. 10, like I said, top of the score. It's really, really good from a power perspective. Motor strength, very strong motor. Very, very impressive of what this thing can do. So it's getting a 10 from a strength perspective because it is very, very strong, if not the strongest one I have. And again, on a high-end model like this, that's what you want. A great motor inside, and as quiet as this is, and as strong as it is, it's just all around, all out impressive. So it's definitely a 10 from a strength perspective as well. At slow speeds, it's really good. Nice and smooth. You can go really slow there. You don't really see this kind of performance in a lot of engines, so really, really good at slow speeds. Again, smooth and quiet. It's getting a 10 from me. Doesn't get much better than this. Now, unfortunately, derailment-wise, this thing is prone to coming off the tracks all too often. Not every time it goes around, but when it does, it does tend to happen. Maybe once out of every 20 laps or so. So this thing is very, very flimsy. If you don't use a re-railer to get it on, it will come off, guaranteed. Because these wheels are just so small profile wise. There's not much lip there, and you can see I took it off, and it's very, very difficult to get back on your own. You can see the little front wheels there tend to bounce around all over the place, so very, very difficult to get on without a re-railer. This is your best friend with this model, because it's just impossible to re-rail this on your own, unless you want it to come off too soon after. And even if you do have it on perfectly, once you start stacking up the cars behind it, I did notice if it goes around a corner or something with a lot of cars behind it, it will tend to pop off as well. I guess it can't take the pressure, which is unfortunate because it does have that powerful engine behind it. With it so prone to derail here, unfortunately, it's going to get a 2 in this rating because you can't really put too many cars behind it, or else it will fall off the track and derail. So that's quite unfortunate. Like I said, it's getting a 2, but that's what I have to give it. It's kind of what it looks like at night when you're watching TV or something. Really cool. Problems. Again, this is an unfortunate category for this thing. I have had quite a lot of problems. Beyond just the rear railing and the derailing and all this and that, the traction tires underneath. Two of these wheels have traction tires on them, and they tend to pop off and get wound up, all caught up in the gears and things. And that's happened a number of times, just running it normally around the track. So these things are prone to popping off and getting caught up. And one even got so wound up that it snapped. So I had to order some more from Kato. They're only $2 with a $6 handling and shipping fee, but I did have to pay for that again. And then even getting those back on, you'll see that little pin there of how tiny that is. When I was taking these off to put the traction tire back on, this thing sprung out of there and landed somewhere in my carpet, and I thought I would never find it because it's not that long. It's probably only not even a millimeter thick in lengthwise. So it's super tiny little pin. Somehow I was able to find it, but just going through the whole song and dance and trying to get that traction tire back on there after it broke and snapped to begin with, through no fault of my own that I can tell. It seems to be a model thing that's so prone to happen there. But with that said, it's getting a 3 from me for problems because I've had so many of them, which is, again, quite unfortunate for such a great looking model. Now, as for the price and value of this thing, it wasn't cheap. I paid $190 for it, which is far and above the most expensive engine I have. It was also one of the first ones I purchased because I did want a very high-end model when I first started collecting these. I think the MSRP was even more of like $300 when it first launched, so I'm glad I didn't pay that much for it. But even at $190, and considering all the problems I've had, I'm giving it a 4, just because it is quite expensive. You are going to pay quite a premium for it, but where it makes up for that is in the extremely powerful engine and just the overall stunning look of the thing. So in the end, I'm happy, but it could be better from a value perspective. But like I said, I wanted at least one super high-end model, and that's exactly what you're getting in this, because it is so well made, so high quality. It does have a few downsides to it, but overall, it's super good. Alright, so in the end, you total it up, it's a 74. Not terrible. Decent score, especially for this one, with the problems. But, hey, I really like it. Wondering what you guys think as well. Maybe some of you have the same one. Would like to know below. Tell me what you think, and what you would have scored your own. So with that, stay tuned for part 2 when we take a look at the cars behind this thing.